Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be working on my Keystone Bullet camper, getting it ready for the winter, doing some winterizing. Before I even start doing that though, I'm going to do something I've been wanting to do for a while, and that is to make the water pump removable. The wiring, it's direct wired in right now, and it's actually leaking just a little bit. So in order to get that out and work on it, I'm going to put some electrical disconnects on it. My water pump is beside the master bed. And because it was leaking, I went ahead and made this catch pan because I knew it was dripping a little bit. As you can see, the wires are directly connected here, so I'm going to put some quick disconnects so I can get this in and out. As you can see right there, some rust lines, so that must be where it's leaking. But this little pack of disconnects I'm going to try to use if that will fit on those wires. I don't think the direction matters on this, but I'm going to put the male on one and the female on the other. That way there's only one way to connect them. Right there is the problem. I have a cracked sensor here, so I have to order a new one of those. Alright, so even though I gotta work on this pump, I'm gonna go ahead and get the wiring set up. So the red has a female connector on the pump side, so on the red, which would be the blue wire here, it has to have a male, and then obviously opposite for the white wire. So this is gonna be a male and this is gonna be a female. There we go. Now we're ready to hook this back up next spring once I get this pump fixed. All right, now that I've looked at that water pump and figured out what was wrong with that, I'm going to take you through the steps how I'm going to winterize this camper. Special thanks to John Marucci, who had a great video online, and just I think he has the exact same camper that I have, so that was super helpful. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I've already done it actually, was make sure all my waste is out of my tank and my gray water is empty. Your last stop of the year at your campground or whatever, it's good. If you have a flush on your black tank, go ahead and flush that real good. That way when you get home, you don't have any waste still in your black tank, and empty out your gray tank as well. The next step is to open up all of your low point valves. This is where the lowest point of the water system is. That way it empties out any extra water in the lines. You can go ahead and leave that open till we're ready to put antifreeze in. This is the drain for the freshwater tank, and it's already been draining for days. I opened that up a while back. I also ran the water pump and got all the water out of my lines as far as the water pump lines before I disconnected the pump for the repair. Once you open these low point drains, you also need to go in and open up some faucets so that the air can get out of the system so there's not a vacuum. You can hear the air releasing. I'm even going to do that to the toilet. And the shower. So we have all our drains open. Another thing you want to do is put some air pressure in this fresh water tank just to make sure all the extra water's blown out so you have less water that can freeze over the winter. Especially because you don't want to put antifreeze in your fresh water tank. Now I'm going to drain the water heater. Make sure your water tank is cooled. Been sitting for a while before you do this because the water heater can remain hot for a long time. So once we pop this open, then it will allow the hot water to drain out. Or the water that's in the water heater, because it releases the vacuum. You can hear the vacuum letting go in there. My water heater has a drain valve already installed in it. It makes it nice because you make sure all the water's out of your hot water heater. Most of it drained out when I opened this pressure relief valve, but it's just a good way to make sure all of it's out. A lot of you won't have this drain plug. You'll actually have to back the whole plug out. You'll probably have a plug similar to this, a plastic plug. You'll just pop out, drain your tank out the rest of the way. Little few drips there. For the next step, you'll need a little blowout plug like this. You can get these off Amazon. Those are pretty cheap. This will be used to blow out your lines. They make different types of fittings. Some of them, your air hose will actually hook directly to this. Mine, I'm going to just use this nozzle here that has a rubber tip, and I'm just going to push it against here, and that'll seal off, and then I can put air into the system. So I'll open one valve at a time, like the hot on the kitchen sink maybe, and then the cold on the kitchen sink. You only want one line open at a time, that way you get enough pressure to blow all the water out. You also want to set your air compressor to about 20 pounds, and mine, it runs through this valve here that I can adjust, and I have to hook into this side of my air compressor to control the pressure. We're going to go ahead and shut our faucet valves. That way we get the pressure from the airline in each line one at a time to make sure it's all blown out. Make sure you have at least one faucet open so you don't get too much pressure build up. I'm going to go ahead and close these up until I get the lines blown out. Because I removed this water pump, I have to actually plug the hole, this hole here, where my water pump would normally be hooked up. So otherwise I can't get pressure. Okay. We never use these, but we're just gonna make sure they're, no, there's still some red antifreeze in there, so nothing's coming this way. That's good. I think we're good here. So we had a little bit of a struggle draining the lines because I had taken the water pump out, so that left the line open, so I couldn't get pressure to the faucets and everywhere I needed to bleed them. But then on top of that, it was blowing water all inside that box where the pump was. So I went ahead and put the pump back on even though it wasn't working quite right. So we got everything blown out the best we can. I bought this antifreeze pump, and I'm kind of glad I did, because now that our pump isn't working, I'm gonna have a way to push the antifreeze through the lines. I'm gonna figure out how this thing works. It comes with the connector that goes into the water line. You want to cook this into the city side of the water connection. Before we start pumping antifreeze, we're gonna get in here and bypass the water heater, because we don't want to be filling up the whole water heater. My water heater is underneath this dinette seat, and as you can see, it's on right now, so that means water is going to run into the water heater, and I want to turn it like that, so it's going to bypass it. It won't be pushing water into there. So we open one side of our faucet, and we're gonna pump some antifreeze in until it comes out red. All right, so this is going to be the out. This is where the antifreeze will come out, and it will go into the water line. And then this one is where it's gonna go into the jug and suck up the antifreeze. Nothing yet?
Nope.
So the one you had open first?
Okay, it's coming out, but it's not like really red.
Coming out at all?
Yeah, it's pretty pink.
Okay, switch sides.
Oh, it's coming out pink.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, move on to the bathroom.
Yep, it's coming out.
Okay, switch sides. Do the shower now. Okay, the other side.
Yeah, it's coming out pink.
So we have pink coming out here too. So all of our lines, I think that we've used, has antifreeze in them again. So we should be good to go. So we're gonna make sure we don't have any, no, we don't wanna leave these out here in the winter, that's for sure. These will probably explode. I think the water bottles will be okay. You know what I mean? So we have antifreeze throughout our camper now, and we still have a little bit left. We went through 2 gallons about. Actually, that hand pump was a little bit slow, but it worked pretty well. So no complaints there. What we can do with a little bit we have left is dump it in the drains of the bathroom sink and the kitchen sink and the shower to make sure the P-traps don't freeze up. And I'm going to save just a little bit in case I forgot something that I think of later. Well guys, that's all I got for you today. Hope you got something out of this video. Until next time, good luck with all your projects.